2 Samuel 20. Now a wicked man named Sheba, son of Bechri, a Benjamite, happened to be there. He blew the trumpet and said, "We have no share in David. We have no inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man go home, O Israel." So all the men of Israel deserted David and followed Sheba, son of Bechri. But the men of Judah stuck with their king all the way from the Jordan River to Jerusalem. Then David went to his palace in Jerusalem. The king took the 10 concubines he had left to care for the palace and placed them under confinement. Though he provided for their needs, he did not sleep with them. They remained under restrictions until the day they died, living out the rest of their lives as widows. Then the king said to Amasa, "Call the men of Judah together to me in 3 days, and you be present here with them too." So Amasa went out to call Judah together, but in doing so, he took longer than the time that the king had allotted him. Then David said to Abishai, "Now Sheba, son of Bechri, will cause greater disaster for us than Absalom did. Take your Lord's servants and pursue him. Otherwise, he will secure fortified cities for himself and get away from us." So Joab's men accompanied the Kerethites, the Pelethites, and all the warriors, left Jerusalem to pursue Sheba, son of Bechri. When they were near the big rock that is in Gibeon, Amasa came to them. Now Joab was dressed in military attire and had a dagger in his sheath belt to his waist. When he advanced, it fell out. Joab said to Amasa, "How are you, brother?" With his right hand, Joab took hold of Amasa's belt as if to greet him with a kiss. Amasa did not protect himself from the knife in Joab's other hand, and Joab stabbed him in the abdomen, causing Amasa's intestines to spill out on the ground. There was no need to stab him again. The first blow was fatal. Then Joab and his brother Abishai pursued Sheba, son of Bechri. One of Joab's soldiers who stood over Amasa said, "Whoever is for Joab and whoever is for David, follow Joab." Amasa was squirming in his own blood in the middle of the path, and this man had noticed that all of the soldiers stopped. Having noticed that everyone who came across Amasa stopped, the man pulled him away from the path and into a field and threw a garment over him. Once he was removed, Amasa from the path, everyone followed Joab to pursue Sheba, son of Bechri. Sheba traveled through all the tribes of Israel to Abel of Beth-maacah and all the Berite region. When they had assembled, they too joined him. So Joab's men came and laid siege against him in Abel of Beth-maacah. They prepared a siege ramp outside the city that stood against the outer rampart. As all of Joab's soldiers were trying to break through the wall so that it would collapse, a wise woman called out from the city, "Listen up! Listen up! Tell Joab, come near so I may speak to you." When he approached her, the woman said, "Are you Joab?" He replied, "I am." The woman said, "Listen to the words of your servant." He said, "Go ahead, I'm listening." She said, "In the past, they would always say, 'Let them inquire in Abel,' and that is how they settled things. I represent the peaceful and the faithful in Israel. You are attempting to destroy an important city in Israel. Why should you swallow up the Lord's inheritance?" So Joab answered, "Not at all. I don't intend to swallow up or destroy anything. That's not the way things are. There is a man from the hill country of Ephraim named Sheba, son of Bechri. He has rebelled against King David. Give me just this one man, and I will leave the city." The woman said to Joab, "This very minute his head will be thrown over the wall to you." Then the woman went to all the people with her wise advice, and they cut off Sheba's head and threw it out to Joab. Joab blew the trumpet, and his men dispersed from the city, each one going to his own home. Joab returned to the king in Jerusalem. Now Joab was the general in command of all the army of Israel. Benijah, the son of Jehoadijah, was over the Kerethites and the Perethites. Adoniram was supervisor of the work crews. Jehoshaphat, son of Ahilud, was the secretary. Sheba was the scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar were the priest. Ira the Jerite was David's personal priest. So we have David is being restored as king, and Judah went out to greet him. Then the men of Israel come out, and they're like, hey, why, Judah, are you doing this? And they're like, hey, because he's our relative. And they're like, hey, Israel's like, no, we got 10 portions. We got 10 portions in him. So there's that going on in the previous chapter. So now a wicked man named Sheba, son of Becre, a Benjamite. Notice he's a Benjamite. Okay, so he is not from Israel in the 10 tribes. He is a Benjamite. So, connected with Saul here. Connected with Saul is going to be the thing here. I happened to be there. He blew the trumpet and said, we have no share in David. We have no inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man go home, O Israel. So normally we think of Israel as the 10 northern tribes, and Benjamin is going to be part of Judah in the southern kingdom. The expression, a short form of the common Benjamin, it appears elsewhere. Okay, so this is the shortened form of that. What does it say on the wicked man? A man of worthlessness. Okay. So all the men of Israel deserted David and followed Sheba, son of Becre. But the men of Judah stuck by the king all the way from the Jordan River to Jerusalem. So they've made it all the way back to Jerusalem. They're reinstalling David as king. Now remember, David was king over Judah, then he was king over all of Israel. Now he's again just king over Judah. Israel has abandoned him because of Sheba. Then David went to his palace in Jerusalem. The king took the 10 concubines. So what we have here is we're going, okay, so Absalom had made a violation with the concubines that were left. David is now going to take care of them. Now, that might not be the way that this sounds, but he could have, because they were violated, he could have had them executed. That would have been just in the views of society at the time, that you would take and get rid of them. He doesn't. Instead, he had them under confinement. I'll read what that is in a second. Though he provided for their needs, he did not sleep with them. So it's making a clarity here that he is not going to go into them. He placed them in a guarded house. So why confinement? To protect them from any other violations, because he's not going to go in to them. He's not going to approach them. They are just going to live the rest of their lives as if they are widows, as if their husband is dead. But he is going to provide for all of their needs. He is going to take care of them. So again, here we see David taking care of people, caring for people, going beyond what would be an expectation at the time. So then the king came to Amasa, called the men of Judah together for me in 3 days, and you be present with them here. Amasa went out to call Judah together, but in doing so, he took longer than the time that the king had allotted. So Amasa now is doing this. Joab has been all along David's commander, but after Absalom's death, Joab confronted David about the way he was acting and said, if you don't change the way you're doing, then I and all the army are leaving. And so after that, Joab is not in good standing with David, so he's made someone else the one to call it. But not sure why Amasa takes longer than the command of 3 days. So there also, it looks like there is a discrepancy on the 3 days, but I'm not going to even worry about that or go into it. And however long it was, they took longer. Then David said to Abishai, now Sheba, son of Berechiah, will cause greater disaster for us than Absalom did. Take the Lord's servants and pursue him. So Abishai is being sent. Hey, he's going to cause more problems than Absalom did. Take your Lord's servant and pursue him. Otherwise, he will secure fortified cities for himself and get away from us. So he's going to start taking cities. We need to go after him. So Joab's men, accompanied by the Kerethites, the Pelethites, and all the warriors, left Jerusalem to pursue Sheba. But he's talking to Abishai. So why is Joab the one doing this? Okay, so let's go down here to the end. All right, can't remember who he is, but I just want to see who he is, where he shows up. Okay, my father is Jesse, my Gith, grandson of Jesse, nephew of David, via his sister Zariah, brother of Joab. Okay, that's who it is. It is Joab's brother. That makes sense. I'm like, why? Okay, it's Joab's brother. Now, that's what I was missing. I couldn't remember that. So that's why he says to Abishai, and so Joab's men accompanied. So he says to the brother of Joab, he doesn't speak directly to Joab, but Joab goes out. When they were near the big rock that is in Gibeon, Amasa came to them. Now Joab was dressed in military attire and had a dagger in its sheath belt to his waist. When he advanced, it fell out. The significance of the statement, it fell out, here is unclear. If the dagger fell out of the sheath before Joab got to Amasa, how did he kill him? Josephus suggests that Joab approached Amasa. He deliberately caused the dagger to fall to the ground at the opportune moment, as though by accident. When he bent over and picked it up, he then stabbed Amasa with it. That's what I was imagining as I read it. Others have tried to make the case for thinking that two swords are referred to, the one that fell out and the other that Joab kept concealed until the last moment. But nothing in the text clearly supports this view. Perhaps Josephus understood it best, but it is by no means obvious in the text either. No, and I think there's supposed to be a little bit of hidden of, oh, I thought he was unarmed. Oh, he's killing him. Like, we're supposed to be surprised by it. That's hence the leaving it that way. So he's advancing. It falls out. I think this is to make Amasa feel safe. He said to Amasa, how are you, my brother? With his right hand, Joab took hold of Amasa's beard as if to greet him with a kiss. So grabbing the beard, going to greet him with a kiss. Amasa did not protect himself from the knife in Joab's other hand, and Joab stabbed him in the abdomen, causing Amasa's intestines to spill on the ground. So he stabs him left-handed. The first blow was fatal. Then Joab and his brother Abishai, I should have just kept reading, pursued Sheba, son of Berechiah. That's what it is. Yeah, so Joab's brother. So indirectly, let's get him together. I'm just not going to let anyone get close. Apparently, everyone is just trying to stab me. Well, one of Joab's soldiers who stood over Amasa said, whoever is for Joab and whoever is for David, follow Joab. Amasa was squirming in his own blood in the middle of the path, and this man had noticed that all the soldiers stopped. Having noticed that everyone who came across Amasa stopped, the men pulled him away from the path and into a field and threw a garment over him. Once he had removed Amasa from the path, everyone followed Joab to pursue Sheba, son of Berechiah. Okay, this is just like a weird little side thing here. Why do we have this? They could have just went on with the story of everyone pursued. There was a call to, hey, let's go follow. Also, Amasa just seems to have failed on assembling the army in a right amount of time. Why does Amasa need to be killed? I don't entirely know why Joab is killing Amasa. It's not clear in the story why he's needed to be killed. Joab is, being put back in through his brother to go and take care of the deal. He could have simply done something else to Amasa. Don't know. There's a piece that feels like maybe Amasa, by not assembling the army, is in rebellion. I don't know. Like he's making a deal. He's not doing what he's. Not entirely sure why this happens. But anyway, we have this story here of him laying there squirming and everybody stopping to look at him. And so a soldier has to drag him out of the path into a field, throw a blanket over him, a garment, cover him up, so then everybody will follow. It's like just a weird little side story. It's like one of these things where it's like, yeah, this feels like this is right and this is true, because why else would you put this weird detail in there? Southern Drake, yo, Papsteel, what's up? Also, what's up, everyone? Welcome in, Southern Drake. Bum, bum, bum. All right, so continuing. Sheba traveled through the tribes of Israel to Abel of Beth-maacah and all the region of Berite. And when he had assembled, they too joined him. So Joab's men came and laid siege against him in Abel of Beth-maacah. They prepared a siege ramp outside the city, stood against the outer ramparts. All of Joab's soldiers were trying to break through the wall so that it would collapse. So they begin these siege works to get after him, to come after, to pursue Sheba, because it's going to be bad for David and the kingdom. And a wise woman calls out from the city. So we have a worthless man. Sheba was called a worthless man. And now we have a wise woman, and she begins this conversation with Joab. Hey, get Joab. Hey, Joab, what's up? Hey, what are you doing? Why would you destroy us? This is the Lord's inheritance. We are part of the kingdom. Why would you come against us? And he's like, hey, we're not here to destroy you. We just want the rebel Sheba, son of Betrayal. And she's like, all right, we can do that. I'll get his head and throw it over the wall to you. So interesting here. It's one of these themes of better for one man to die than for all to die. And here it's carried out. They find the worthless man. She cuts off the head, or has it cut off. Under her wise advice, they cut off Sheba's head. They throw it out to Joab. Joab blows the trumpet, and the men disperse from the city, each to his own town. So you had to assemble the military when you were going to go do something. Afterwards, they go home. There was no plunder. There is no spoils. So there is going to be really no party. We just chased down one man. We got our victim, the one that we were after, and it's over. Now, Joab was general. So we're going to get a list of the current who's in charge now after the rebellion of Absalom. So Joab is commander of the army. He is reinstated there. Benani, son of Jehoiada, was over the Kerethites and the Perethites. So we have one person over these two groups. Adoniram was supervisor of the work crews. What do we have in the work crews? So Jehoshaphat is the secretary. Sheva is the scribe. We still have Zadok and Abithar are the priest. That hasn't changed. Ira, the Jerite, was David's personal priest, a chief ruler about David, the ASV, chief priest unto David, regarding this office as political. So, okay, he is chief of something. Is he a priest to David, or is he a ruler? The Hebrew, they're saying, is priest to David. Okay, so priest to David. I guess that makes sense. We have a couple of places in Judges where there's household priests or Levites who do things. So now we have David has one.